Yo guys, Haku here with my predictions for The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 9. It's going to be this Sunday, tomorrow from when you'll be seeing this. And I'm going to start doing this every week on Saturday, giving my predictions for the episode. But before I get into it, I want to let you guys know if I'm not as happy and peppy as usual, it's because I'm not feeling very well today. So if a couple videos here and there are not up, it's either because I'm feeling sick or there's a snowstorm going on right now, so I don't know if that'll affect anything with uploading. I'm hoping it won't. Same schedule as usual. Review of the episode will be up on Monday. Gotta make sure I throw that in there. And let's not waste any more time and get into it. So we know from the promos released that Daryl's going to be taken behind a truck. And, before I get into this, I'm not going to really get into spoilers or really comic spoilers. I mean, what happens in the comics is going to affect my predictions, but I'm not going to outright say events that happened. I'm going to say events that I think will happen in the show, and they might happen, they might not happen, and I think whether or not they happened in the comics is kind of unrelated to that. So, yeah, and of course, no show spoilers. That would render this sort of video useless. I don't like show spoilers. I don't mind people that do, but if you like it, don't force it on other people. Just like it for yourself and keep it to yourself in a public forum such as this. So yeah, we know from the promo, Daryl gets taken behind the truck by one of the saviors, and their little leader guy is pointing guns at Sasha and Abraham. So from that, I'm going to say that, and that's where I think we're going to get into the credit sequence from there, and we're not going to come directly back to Daryl's group after the credit sequence, I would not say. When we return from the credit sequence, I think we're going to have the group exiting the house with Rick, all holding hands. I think they're going to walk a little bit. They're going to make it sort of slow and dramatic, where Sam's calling out for his mom. And whatever happens during all of that, I think the walkers are going to close in on them. And I think that at that point, the walkers may grab on to Sam and perhaps Jesse as well. So of course, once that happens, all hell is going to break loose. They're going to have to try to fight off the walkers, but the walkers are already on Sam and Jesse. And Sam pretty much just boned them. They're like fucked over at this point. They're in the middle of the herd. From there, I think we may cut over to either the Wolf and Denise, if we see them any this episode, or to the group in the basement where Morgan and Carol are incapacitated currently. So I think we may flash over to that group for a little bit, but we're not going to get any huge development with them yet. Now, we may also cut to, I think this is actually very likely, we may also flash over to Maggie, and she sees Glenn and Enid, but she doesn't get to them or anything. They're still separated. She just sees them from her little place where she's trapped up on the wall. And from there, we will likely, in my opinion, flash back to Daryl and the Saviors, I'd say. And I think the way it's going to happen, Daryl's going to pop out from behind the truck. He incapacitated or killed the savior in some way. He pops out from behind the truck, just sprays a machine gun. He may use the rocket launcher, but I think they're saving that. I don't think it's going to come into play quite yet. I think he's just going to spray the saviors. Abraham and Sasha will probably jump in to help. I don't think any of them will get shot, but if they do, I don't think it's going to be something too serious. It's just going to be an injury that they have for a few episodes and get over. But overall, I think that's going to happen, and I think one savior is going to survive. He's either going to, calling one of these motorcyclist people are going to survive, and he's going to run to the guy we heard them talk about, and we can assume from how they were talking that he is their leader, Negan. So they're going to run back to this Negan guy, whoever the one guy to survive or escape, whether they spare him or he just runs away somehow. He's going to run back to tell their leader. So then I think we will be getting back to Rick's group, and Sam and Jesse they're grabbed by walkers. I actually think that Ron is going to let go of Sam's hand and survive back there with, I think, Michonne and Gabriel in the back of the group. And then Rick is going to, like, be trying to fight off walkers at the front, but Jesse will not let go of Carl, and Carl has Judith. So Rick's going to have to make the choice, and I do think that he's going to maybe cut off Jesse's hand to free Carl. Maybe not. Not sure how the show would do with something that gory, but that's talking about things that happen in the comics that may or may not have anything to do with the show. So perhaps he would cut off Jesse's hand to free Carl. And I think Ron seeing that and surviving, it would be a big emotional moment, a turning point moment for Ron, seeing Rick say, okay, we can't save you, we've got to leave Sam and Jesse to get devoured. We have no choice any longer. And I don't think that we're going to have a choice any longer, because I think they will be likely bitten into by then. They're still alive and screaming and trying to grasp onto Carl or whoever, but they will be essentially to the point where they could not be saved in any feasible way. So it puts the characters in that sort of limbo, that sort of middle ground there. And of course, that being the emotional moment for Ron, it's going to be a telling moment and a developing moment for the character. Whether that is for the better or for the worse, we've yet to see, but I think it's definitely going to expound upon him more in the future, assuming that Ron does survive and they do die, which I am strongly predicting, because like I said in one of my videos before, I think it needs to be done for the story, and I'm personally going to be a little bit butthurt if it doesn't happen, because I like thinking about it happening that way. And that's actually where I think this episode's going to end, but I could be wrong. There are, I think, 4 more things. There are 4 more things that I'm going to say that I think could happen in this episode, or they could be pushed back to episode 10, and I will have them in my episode 10 prediction. First off, Carl getting injured I think that Carl is going to get injured in some way, and Rick's going to need to find Denise to help him. And I think Carl getting injured, if it doesn't end with separating from Jesse and whoever gets eaten, because I'm thinking somebody's going to get eaten. If it doesn't end with that separation, it may end with Carl getting injured, and then going into next episode, we need to find Denise, so then we'll get more of Denise and the wolf, and that may happen this episode, but I don't think we'll get more Denise and the wolf storyline till episode 10, but I could be wrong. It could happen in episode 9. And the last 2 things are things I really doubt will happen in 9. They'll almost certainly happen in 10, and that's the character reunion, like everybody coming together, like all the Alexandrians in Alexandria, Glenn, Maggie, all joining up to try to fight off the horde of walkers, because at this point they can't feasibly escape without at least fighting through in one direction out of there to try to escape. So them joining up and fighting, that is probably going to happen in episode 10, but it could happen in 9 if they really pace it fastly. And the last thing that I'm almost 100% will happen in 10, but it could happen towards the end of 9, I could be wrong, and that is Daryl's group returning to Alexandria. But like I said, don't think it's happening till 10, because I think they will be dealing with the motorcyclist people that we saw. They'll be dealing with them for the majority of 9 that we see them. So yeah, those are my predictions for episode 9. Everything I think will happen, might happen, could happen, and of course a lot of it could be completely wrong. I would again ask you guys to refrain from posting spoilers in the comments. It's okay if you like them, just don't force them on anybody else. Just keep quiet till after the episode comes out, at least, to just give people a chance to enjoy their predictions, make their own predictions. So I'll say like if you liked it, put your comments down there if you thought I had some good ideas, or put what you think will happen in the episode, Subscribe for more The Walking Dead. I will have 3 videos on the TV show a week, a discussion, a prediction, and a review for that week. And I will be doing a comics live reaction, a review, and then maybe a discussion if I ever feel like I have a good topic for a discussion, I will do one for the comics. So I'll have that as well. If you like One Piece or Tower of God or anime as well, I do cover that on the channel. So if that's something you're interested in, I'd say subscribe for that as well, or just at least check it out, I guess. So thank you all so very much for watching. Follow on Twitter for updates on if anything happens, and I will see you all next time.